10 seconds remaining. Dire team ban. Team secrets turn to ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
If last year was a training ground for the DPC season, then we got on one side of the team with 8-3-0 victories of championship tournaments versus the other side team with 2.5. I'll give them 2.5.
Division 2 titles give you a full half star.
Okay.
It sounded like such a deflated balloon the way you said
Yeah,
like,
not that, like, you can't really compare the two. I'm curious to find out what they're going to draft against each other because we're going to see all those lessons learned from last year. In practice, we're joined on mixing by Purge. I have Kyle and Moxie with me as well. I'm here ready for the draft of this first game of Viking versus Team Secret, where one team is the invited team, favorite team on the Radiant side, Team Secret, and the Viking, the challenger. And Purge, I want to hear your opinion on this matchup first because we have seen Viking taking series off of Team Secret.
10
It has a
seconds
shot for
remaining.
sure, but I kind of agree with Kyle. Secret, I think, at
5
least in here, it
seconds remaining.
allows you so much time to prep that I feel like these top teams in the world that are known that win huge tournaments against best teams in the world, they're just going to put their full brain power towards it and have some really good stuff coming up. So I think it's going to be harder for teams that are trying to catch on the meta to not get outdrafted, to not draft themselves into a corner, to not get out-strategy in-game in these weird situations that come up. So Secret should have an advantage here.
I already love their draft. Yapsor Earthshaker. Death Prophet is very open. I was talking with Keizu and a couple of guys about this. It is so good as a 5 and also really good as a 2, especially in a game against Nerd Spirit. But if you're mid, you're not really gankable because if you save a drain, you're just not going to get bursted. And if you're a 5, you're also pretty survivable. You're not going to get killed by the offlane at +1. It's just a really nice hero nowadays, and itemizations you can go are excellent.
Yeah, we've seen G do it a couple of times successfully as well, coming from the CIS upper division. Yeah. And yeah, it's getting to be a little bit more flavor.
it's kind of neat, like they talked about that, you know, in Zai's interview about how they're looking at other regions, seeing what works, and they're adapting, bringing it over for the team.
remaining.
And I think that's definitely seen G run this very
5
successfully
seconds
several times now. So why not pick it up, use it as a flex? Because the more that you can hide drift, the better.
Yep, and the same thing goes for that Bat Rider.
It does have some weaknesses in the mid and late game though. As a support compared to other heroes, like once KD cores come up, you can be a little vulnerable certainly. But yeah, there's definitely some decent things about it. When OG played it, it did better than I expected to. So as an opener, as a flex core support, it definitely is fine. Bat Rider should match against it decently well mid. I mean, Death probably can push out lanes pretty well. But if he dodges you and gets napalm on you, that's difficult to turn and get the first spirit siphon off. It doesn't slow anymore, so it doesn't, other than like giving you more survivability, Bat Rider can certainly still dive and get kills on you.
I actually think for that reason, it's more likely to be a support. Although I think in a high skill matchup, Death does fine just because you can shove wave, honestly, and you have a pretty significant base damage advantage. You certainly have to be careful, but especially because the new bat kind of has to, you have to spam sticky to participate in the lane. It's just free mana for the Death Prophet, which translates into more waves, more creep kills, and more harass.
It's funny that you guys keep mentioning that, like the mid matchup. I know they actually asked Boom during the AMA, what is the top 3 mid laners he's afraid to play against? And unfortunately he wasn't there, but the answer that was given to him to go tell his teammates was, what, Nisha, 2, Nisha, 3, Nisha. So.
He was, Team Secret, Team of the Year 2020, Nisha, Player of the Year 2020. The kid is unstoppable. I was doing some research to try and shill for Team Secret because somebody's got to represent Dota in these word shows. Like, never getting off.
You think I know it's the guy on you.
I made my own notes. But it's the crazy stat. In those 7 consecutive majors that Secret won in the online portion of 2020, 7 was when I did
Okay.
it. 7 finals, all go 5, 7 3-0s. Nisha played 18 unique heroes over 21 games.
Awesome.
That is unbelievable.
That's so.
So
It is actually so insane.
that just blew my mind.
Are there even 18 mid heroes?
Good.
But like that's the thing. He played everything. No, most mids they specialize in something, right? And when you see that out of their comfort zone, you're like, I'm not afraid of this guy. Nisha played everything from Meepo and Arc Warden to like Tiny, then Quap and SF, like the regular ones, and it's just still good. Like he plays bat, he plays everything.
Just imagine the freedom that also gives, obviously Nisha great player, but the freedom that gives any drafter if you know that you don't really have to take into consideration what your mid does and does not play because you know he'll play anything you'll throw him. And we talk about Nisha in that way, but we know Zai also works in that way.
Yeah.
It's got to be the dream as a drafter.
Yeah.
You have so much freedom and flexibility.
Yeah.
Be creative too, right?
Zai is like the Kyle Korver of Dota 2. You know, not only is he strong jaw, very strong jaw, consummate professional. He does his job. One of the best
Where is this?
NBA. His name's also Kyle.
Literally, I mean, I can just like name one of the ones that normal people forget about. So.
Most people, I would say if you want basketball, you know who Kyle Korver.
Yeah,
okay.
there's a huge reason for basketball.
Okay, fine.
Hey, you're the pro
Okay,
warlord.
I'll stop right here. We are covering European DPC. Most of the viewers are.
That's
Your brother's
not
sorry.
as 5
He's,
goal.
what was that guy on who played for the Spanish national team? Zavi? He's
No,
like that.
Kyle.
He's
No,
really
no.
good. Huh? That's football. European.
5 seconds
Football.
remaining.
Well, I don't know that one.
He was like the greatest
Ronaldo.
midfielder.
Yes, yep, that's a good one.
Ronaldo. Everybody knows Ronaldo.
Yeah, but Kai isn't a scorer like that. He's like the guy that you want on your team because he makes everybody else better.
Too. My goodness, look at the control
Yeah,
out here.
draft.
No, where did
Okay.
the puck go? Purge.
I don't know.
Save us, please.
Probably
10
mid. I don't know.
seconds remaining.
Thanks, Purge.
The Oracle's a cool pick because you want to deny it. You don't want to let the team pick Oracle in your bat. The trouble is, I mean, that profit, even if its support's just so nice against these heroes, just because of the silence factor, troll PL matchup can kind of go both ways. You've seen some Battlefield trolls, you've seen some trolls, but it just is a nice answer to the support duo. Oracle Earthgrid hate playing against the PL, and so does Batrider in the lane phase. So I could also see them doing something weird. Maybe you put PL mid against Bat. It's a pretty favorable matchup for PL.
Is it really? I mean, Doppelganger cooldown's pretty long at early level, so you can remove
you have a 30 base damage advantage.
That sounds pretty good, yeah. Okay.
Not quite 30 with the Quelling Blade on your you don't miss last hits, and that's not counting the charge damage.
That's true. I really like Oracle with role pairing as well because it gives you so much play potential around your ulti now rather than it just being trade for. It's like, oh, the HP's low, it's gonna ult, but now you might have Oracle ulti and you might have Troll ulti on top of it, so it just gives them a lot more decision-making capability. And I like Troll against Death Prophet as well. If it is a core, she doesn't do extremely well against super high like single tier damage. So Troll can certainly add various.
We also forgot it's Zod. This could just be a Death Prophet offlane. And in laning phase, Oracle Troll against Shaker Death Prophet is at best to trade. Like, I actually think DB offlane's really nice here. I don't know what the puck is. I really don't know actually. I take that back. They could do anything.
Yeah.
Puppy likes playing puck a lot actually.
He does.
He's getting it for himself.
It's not. I mean, that I actually think the knowing here, I would agree with you. Like puck for Puppy, Death Prophet off, and then this PL is flex now based on whether they think Bat is mid or safe.
Beauty of Team Secret, you don't know exactly where all these heroes are going. Generally, very, very much specialty hero that specifically excels on.
I feel like that's the big issue drafting at these top teams in the world is that like they're so flexible at all their positions, like you're talking about Frencha, but also like they don't when they do force like weird circumstances, they like it's like they always have a slight upper hand over their opponent. So I feel like against Secret OD, etc. or Enigma, they make these laning mistakes sometimes. They're like, oh, we'll just try lane this circumstance, and it just really butts in the butt almost every time it happens. So I don't know how to beat it other than be better than them, but maybe just play standard. Let them force themselves into like weird hero picks, like play that top support that isn't as viable necessarily as other heroes. Maybe that's one solution, but I like what Vikings done so far. It was generally well rounded, even if there are some hero issues.
And they banned out the Omni Knight last, so from their bans, can't really gauge too much from that. But now we know that there's a Storm in the game, which most likely will be Anisha's hero, and then the DP can be either 4 or 3 or 5, actually either 3 or 5, let's say. Yeah, with the 4 Shaker. I'd say Puppy Puck over Zai Puck.
Yeah.
And it's a really nice combo with Shaker, because you can abuse having lane control better than most offlaners, and you're high sustain. It's just, you kind of prefer having slow levels too. Shaker plays out of lane a bunch. It's a really nice pickup here. Storm against Bat, it's a very skill-based matchup, but the Storm can push very easy, and you can't dive him as easily either, because you're going to run through so many remnants. And it's the same concept where just this early stick, you have a huge base damage advantage, and you just shove the lane.
In the last Storm Batrider we saw, Storm had way more last hits than Batrider. So maybe it'll be reflected in this match as well. And he can lane, go jungle, and Batrider's going to be busy with other stuff.
But if it's the best this Oracle, because like Fellow usually has very good positioning, but they have so many things that can reach backline and just make him irrelevant.
There's so much balance in the Secret lineup. Like, it just feels good. You see the win conditions. They're going to have a bunch of natural power specs. 2 supports offer so much team fight. The side of Viking, Underlord's not really making plays. Earthspirit doesn't really have a lane to gang. It's a Bat mid.
Purge, I would like to hear your final thoughts on this draft.
I definitely feel like there's more weaknesses in the Viking draft. They have damage issues as well. It's like what Troll, Underlord, and a Bat. Like, how do they burst people rapidly until Troll gets items? Feels like they're going to be on the back foot for a decent amount of their game, or at least the mid game.
All right. Thank you very much. We'll come back to it later on.
The Bat factor. That's the key here. You've got Earthspirit, you've got Bat. You need to get a whole bunch of kills. If Viking take this game, they're going to need to hit like 10 kills before Secret's at 4, and they have to find a way to pick towers. That's the tough part for me. I don't know how they kill towers, and they're going to need some.
Final word in the draft, Oxy?
It's just a beautiful draft coming out from Secret. A lot of it's funny. We look at a lot of these heroes that are in the lineup, and we're kind of like, wow, wouldn't have thought, a couple years ago that would be an actual balanced draft, but it's just easy to execute.
Final point, that Secret, it's art, okay? I don't know how to explain it. I love analyzing for these top teams matches because you look at everything. I don't know why Van Gogh paintings are beautiful. They just are. Much like this draft.
All right, well, thank you very much. Let's find out how this first game's going to get played out. We're heading over Tony Pixel and Fog.
Thank you very much, Steve. Yeah, it should be a fun one. Secret versus Viking here in the upper division of EU. Fogged, well, I heard the panel sort of go over the drafts, especially Secrets. Would you agree, or do you think we might see Viking really give Secret a good fight here today?
Yes. The amount of reference that Kyle just made in one panel, I'm lost of even listening to the draft right now. I'm just listening to sports, and then he's talking about, I don't know, paintings and something. I'm like, crazy. Viking, it looks like the draft that they like, right? It looks like they got kind of what they wanted, but yeah. I like what Secret has up against it. Elusive cores, the PL and the Storm Spirit around kind of limited disable. I feel like that's why they went for the Underlord to try to round things together a little bit there, but I think they're going to be able to play around a lot around these disables pretty well. And I think this Earthshaker, I'm wondering to see what Yapster's going to do. He's been playing it a ton in pubs, but just like that last game that we did witness, I expect him to do a lot of those rotations around top and mid whenever he sees opportunity.
Yeah, I feel like we're really, Shaker sort of definitely beginning to get favored a lot more than it was. Is this hero what teams are just sort of getting onto the fact that this hero is actually pretty darn good right now?
I think he's on the rise for sure. Yeah. I think people are seeing that you can now, well, I'm saying now, but you can pick non-traditional offlaners and make them work. And especially with Shaker, he makes non-traditional shine so much more. He's gonna fissure block the offlane. You're gonna get a good start. And the shard. You have to mention the shard, of course. Changes the hero dynamic entirely. You can just walk up cliffs. You always have a stun follow-up no matter what, even if you don't have your blink up. It's really nice.
Let's see what sort of shenanigans YapzOr can get up to early to secure that sort of preferential lane position and setup and make things a little easier for Zai up on the top lane.
I'm gonna be watching mid quite a bit because I've seen these Storm Spirits. The better the player is, the more dominant the matchup is versus the Bat Riders a lot of the times, and it's really just up to the Bat to just completely outplay the Storm. So I want to maybe even see like an Aramis TP if they get a good positioning for the Flame Break knockback or something like that. Even pre-4 minutes or maybe setting up around the room, I definitely want to see this Earth Spirit put attention onto Nisha to give Boom an advantage.
Yeah, we'll see how active indeed Aramis is going to be. I mean, and as you say, he's going to sort of have the space to make a lot of those movements. You look at the bottom lane. Is this a lane where Underlord, Toby's going to be fine left on his own?
There's no stuns that Toby really has to be careful. So if there is a concern, if the position is on, he just TP to his tower, right? So I feel like he has a little bit more liberty to move. It's a hard lane for them no matter what. They can't actually put pressure at all. And I mean, and Puppy's actually just ruining Aramis right now.
He is. Aramis is. He's going to have to pop a salve or something. As Puppy completely zoning him out. He's going to have another orb in a second. I wonder if he goes for it. At the same time, top. Celery also taking quite a bit of harassment here from YapzOr on Zai. And indeed, yeah, Aramis is just going to have to pop that salve for himself to allow him to stay in the lane.
And he wants to be able to pull the lane once on this Earth Spirit, right? To get Toby a decent start and then be able to maybe look to move around, but Puppy's not allowing that to happen. Yeah, it's going to be a tough lane for these two. Underlord's going to get some last hits, but PL's going to free. Moves ours, yeah, top. This Earthshaker Death Prophet lane is actually not that bad. The Troll's going to farm, but they can probably get some kills if there is just some messed up positioning, especially from Celery.
Obviously in the mid. At the moment, just a little bit of... okay, he's got the 3 creeps here, yeah. Pretty much even between Nisha and Boom right now in the 1v1.
And now the TP. Aramis is coming already.
I mean, Nisha stepped up pretty far.
I like this move. I think that's exactly what he needs to do to set up for success.
Yeah, Puppy's going to come across. See if he can do anything to help out, but with the stacks and napalm onto Nisha, there's no hope. As first blood goes the way of Boom, Aramis is going to look for the neutral denied. He's able to do it. Excellent stuff here from Aramis.
Perfect. Exactly what
played on a 40-foot court.
Excellent movement as soon as he sees the opportunity when he hits level 2. Nisha, I think now he's going to be probably thinking about that more so when he does step up on the high ground with 2 sticky stacks.
Definitely going to have to respect sort of the response here from Aramis a little bit better. We'll see where he heads out to now. He's back on the map. Looks like, yeah, he's going to take the move down to bottom. 30 seconds until he's going to be able to help out again mid. So Boom probably will keep himself to himself a little bit. There's not an opportunity for Secret themselves to make a move, but he knows where YapzOr is. And YapzOr, top remaining here. He's going to try and set up onto Celery. And with the Siphon damage, they'll be able to take him down. So this lane, as you said, that's going to have its potency, especially against Celery, starting to now get those kills.
Sick by YapzOr too. The fissure that he actually steps right in front of him so that this Oracle can't go down that sneaky tree line. Stuff up there, and now he's level 3, so even stronger potency coming from the Earthshaker with the stunning. And now again, look, mid. Nisha steps up far.
He stepped up. It's an instant TP from not just one, but 2 of them. They're going to bring Celery over as well. Make sure they have that further control with the root. As Nisha getting well and truly prioritized here by Viking in the mid. Boom's still got the stick charge, so he's not even going to go down to the tower. And there's also a regen rune for him waiting down bottom. Could not be any better for Boom. And yeah, I mean, Viking, they're playing this mid lane to perfection, right? This is exactly what they've got to do. They're making the most of hitting Nisha before he hits that 6.
Absolutely, yeah. It's super crisp moves, and YapzOr is not really able to help it. Like, he made the play top, but it was too quick to happen mid because the Oracle respawned and just keeps set up with that Earth Spirit. Naturally moved the way toward top. Absolutely beautiful stuff for Viking. Still not have a gold lead at the start here, but a good start to enable Boom to be ahead of Nisha.
Snap on him. Poppy, he's going to have to use the ult to get out of this. As soon as he tries to get aggressive onto Toby, Aramis instantly in and on top of the puck. See 5-minute runes coming up. Looks like it will just be the trade 2 for 2 for them here.
No invasion play. Boom can't push the lane in hard enough. He doesn't have his Firefly up, so he can't check or steal Nisha's. Nisha gonna stack and maximize in the meantime. Nisha's still not having a bottle though, so he's actually having to hold the rune there for the moment, so he does get it delivered.
Yeah, so for sort of all the time that Yapsa has spent up here, do you imagine, like, is he himself going to look towards the mid to try and help Nisha out, or with the way the mid's gone, is it sort of too late to look for that opportunities?
He should be okay here. Yeah, he should be able to walk away. I think around level 6. When Storm hits 6, you can make the plays a lot easier. Just because he got set up on twice now, he can't make it. Sometimes you can, as an Earthshaker with the Storm versus anybody, because you get the early... Just wait till Nisha gets sick. He has to get you. And he will finish it right now. Stack to work through. They will double check the runes on Viking anyway. Make sure that they can get this for Boom. Not that Nisha get a power rune. And it will be an arcane rune bottom. So one of the best ones for both of these mid laners. Top Shad. He's been left alone since they are double checking the runes with the supports. He's actually getting pressured here, Zai.
Boom's going to come over with the TP. Can he do anything to keep them off Shad? He can't. Siphon out, and they'll get the kill. See if they can take down Zai in return. Zai's going to go immediately for the TP out. There's nothing else to put it to a stop. So a great move and escape from Zai, and also pretty big having that lasso being used here the first time round.
Yeah, I think he did pop the arcane before using it, but yeah, it's going to be a wasted one, and they get they get a nice kill, and they get earn charges to Zai. Big benefit for him. And now, yeah, Nisha now gets the pressure relieved off of him without having lasso up. Very nice pressure. The troll is getting slowed down quite significantly, as you can see, because of this top lane, the Earthshaker and the Death Prophet. As we mentioned, you know, Matu's getting free farm. He has no worries down here. He's going to do the PL build, we call it now. It's just hood into defusal every game, or defusal into hood every single.
And how does this game sort of look on paper for a PL that has free farm? Like, is this a game where Viking, you consider them to have good answers to the PL down the line?
No, I don't think they have many answers really at all, especially if they start to fall behind too early on. Matu can really take over. He's amazing against both supports. He's pretty damn good against Troll Warlord, especially if he's ahead like this, and he's great versus Bat Rider. All his matchups are good except, I guess, versus Underlord in a way. Should be, yeah, it's going to be really tough for them. And it's not just the PL. It's like they did gank Nisha twice in the mid lane, but he's still fine. He's still completely recovered because of the stacks. He's actually same net worth as the Bat. He's going to be a nuisance. He's going to be a problem with their slightly limited disables.
See Champ returns to top lane, but already you see Secret there immediately sending full backup up at the three of them. Puppy, Yapsa, and Zai. Yeah, they could look to...
He's got Exorcism, and he's tanky.
So, yeah, it really put pressure on
Chad right away.
Trying to push Celery off to the side. Yapsa with the body blocks, allowing Zai to close the gap. And Celery, he's got the stick charges, but yeah, with that earned damage and a final Crypt Swarm, Zai gets the kill. And really breaking down this top lane of Viking and sort of buttering it up into a position where Zai's going to be able to put the pressure onto this tower and threaten this tier 1 very early.
Shad has to leave the lane. They have to just ditch this tower, I feel like. Unless they bring probably 4 or 5 heroes up here, even the Underlord, I don't know if they can defend. They're gonna send the Earthshaker, so that says to me they're gonna try to defend it.
So it's definitely gonna be tricky with the Ghost out. We'll see how much Viking can do to sort of get Zai off this tower, and yeah, Aramis already just starting to roll away. Did manage to pull the creep wave out of this, but Zai, with the earn charges, he's sort of happy to tank a bit here, just get as much damage as he can done with that Exorcism, forcing out the fortification.
So not a full defense, just a pseudo one, where he, yeah, like you said, pulls the wave. Bat Rider's just going to finish his bots in the mid lane, and Underlord is finishing his items down bottom. Rather than committing fully, they're just going to slow down the pretty significantly too. Not able to finish it off, and now Shad can make his way there. So decent hold, just an Earth Spirit kick. Slow it down, very nice.
I'll shoot from the mid, Stellar and Boom. Smoking up Boom now with the completed bot. And of course, Lasso ready to go.
And now there is no Exorcism, and the support's not quite, of course, not like level 6 on the side of Secret, so this could be a nice move if he's able to find somebody, but he shows himself mid. He's back to farming.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
I mean, can you sort of expect with Vikings heroes, you know, now that they do have Boom with the box, obviously sort of refueled and ready to go, can they start running at this PL? Like, is that sort of the plan, or if you're Viking, are you trying to just shut down the other heroes enough to get to a point where you're going to be bringing a team fight and Secret's supporting cast isn't strong enough to enable the PL at the timing that Viking's going to try and bring the fight to them?
It's just a bit scary, to be honest, because when I look at the draft, I see decent initiation on the side of Viking, of course, with the bad and Earth Spirit, but I see phenomenal counter initiation from Secret. So I feel like they just have to be careful where they do make the move. But Matu is way too hard to go for it. Unless he massively misplays, they won't be able to find this PL. But they look like they're letting the top towers continue to get pressured here. And once the levels do kick off, though, the two supports on Secret, they're going to add a whole new overwhelming amount of team. So I feel like this downtime is... Maybe they don't feel like they can fight because of how much they've been shut down on the troll, but I feel like if they wait too long, it's going to be harder for them to fight. Because of the...
And do you like this on Shad, the build-up with the Falcon Blade?
Dire's top tower has
We've been seeing it on all of these Agi cores.
Yeah.
I have yet to see it on a like melee because I count.
Oh wow, dude! You see this? He's got Falcon Blade queued straight into Axe.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
I mean, that doesn't solve the solution of the PL, which he's supposed to be. It's a big concern for me.
Yeah, you don't sound like you're a fan.
Is under attack.
I like the Ags a lot. He needs to be the hero to kill the Phantom Lancer to match the PL. So I feel like him not going Maelstrom or Battle Fury is going to hurt, but maybe he doesn't.
I mean, it's going to be interesting to see. They've obviously got something in mind with this bit of a different approach. As you say, you know, absolutely, Aghanim's an incredibly strong item on Troll. But interesting to see Shad get it in this order. As he's got it cubed, we'll see if he does actually build into it straight up off the Falcon Blade. What sort of moves they can make with it. Bottom lane, Yapsel looking to cut off Toby here with the Fisher. Toby's going to try and get out with the Rift. Yapsel is dropping everything here. Toby, he's not going to make it away. They do get the kill. Boom. I mean, he's thinking about trying to make a jump in onto Zai. He's got the lasso. See if they've got enough damage. Knocking Zai back with the flame break. Nuking him down low. They'll get the kill. Now rolling in. They're going to be able to find Yapsel as well by the looks of it with the Firefly. Boom's able to burn down a second. So Viking, they may have lost Toby, but actually able to find the favorable trade there, getting both Zai and Yapsel in return.
Yes, they saw, I mean, Yapsel overcommitted the Echo to make sure that he, you know, Underlord stays in position, but they see that, that's when they see an opportunity. Boom waiting in the sidelines. Nice lasso grab. You do see Nisha now pretty much have Orchid done, and he found the item for Storm Spirit. He got the Fairy Trinket. And now he's going to start popping off. And this Orchid is very effective versus all 5 heroes.
See how much the Secret want to do that now. Puppey, he's been caught. Nicely done by Toby there. As soon as the orb was used, Toby's able to catch him on just the edge of the pit. It's enough to allow them to close in and take him out in the river. Nisha, he's going to lead him straight away onto the path. An Invis Rune was found. He pops it, and he's away. He's trapped in by the Fisher, but it doesn't matter. They've got no vision down around this area, as that Invis Rune saves Boom's life.
And it shows the Orchid as well, so they get to see the first usage of that. Pick how they're going to continue their pressure, and they're going to go bottom, with Shad as well showing up. So they really want to take out this final tower here. Zai, no Exorcism at the ready. Puppey has his coil though, and it looks like they want to fight.
If they can kill Zai before the fight starts, though, this is going to be a great beginning for Viking, as they're straight in and they've got him with no difficulty at all. So now it's a question, really, Secret want to still try and commit for this. They've lost the tower, they've lost Zai down here. Do they still want to try and look for a fight?
it's rallied around Toby too, who has a mech, so they're pretty strong if he is there, but Boom just TP's out. Matu, he's got the defusal.
Yeah, straight in with the silence. Onto the back rise, the fast center. There's actually having the pulse on the stopping time. Follow-ups there from Nisha. Moves in onto Aramis with the Orchid, takes him out. Dream Coil locks down both Toby and Shad here off to the side. The illusion is just burning the entirety of Celery's mana. He's got nothing left to pop. Moves in with the lasso. He's found the grab onto Nisha. Has he got enough damage? Though he hasn't. Nisha's out with the Ball Lightning TP. Nisha will make it away.
Dire are scanning.
Can't believe Secret actually persisted to try to fight into that one after the tower dies and after they lose Eye. Into the mech, they're still strong on Viking. They got the one support, right? But Celery ended up living because of False Promise. Dead even now. Actually, it's slightly gold leading even for Viking after that tower does get taken out. So pretty decent after this laning start here. And we're gonna just see in the chat, he's full committed for it. So
yeah,
we're gonna see if the Aghanim does work.
I mean, I've got to imagine, you know, that so you're getting these Ags early. Sure, the dispel is nice, but I mean, there's not really too much you're taking off, right? I mean, I guess it's some sort of slows here and there. But ultimately, I imagine it's because of the reduced cooldown, he's just going to have a lot more damage output, just chucking these axes out left, right, and center in the midst of it all.
And he's reducing the PL's damage completely, right? Those miss rates, then the defusal is going to be counteracted a lot too. So I can see why he did go for it, but it's just, is he going to be able to get? He needs to get a farming item after. He needs to get the actual counter to the PL so that he actually does damage. Because right now it's just he's going to make them miss, and it's not going to kill his team. But is he going to actually be able to kill them? But yeah. But I mean, they're definitely making it work so far here before it does kick off. He's not getting pressured, and they're making good space. I mean, Boom's going to have a BKB at a very good time for this Bat Rider, which I mentioned they have good counter initiation on Secret, but if there's a BKB, he can break that counter initiation.
They're hunting down bottom, but Toby's sense is very nicely done there. As soon as before they even get a glimpse of him, he's already rifting out. So Secret won't be able to put a stop to his escape.
Nisha pushing forward for an arcane. Matu pushing alone right now mid.
Stupendous!
Got the Yapso, big pickup. Blink Dagger is done.
Earth's bounty.
And he's got the actual build. He has the actual build for when you're going for your blink rush. You have the max aftershock rather than max fissure. So big team fight, as we said, for Secret going to be kicking off, and we'll see if Viking has to kind of play around it really nicely. Either have the Bat Rider with the BKB, or they have to just start the fights from like these weird angles and get this good angle of approach to make sure that they don't just get comboed by all that crazy team fight. Doing a good job of farming though. Even Aramis has his BKB queued up too. They're understanding what they need to get on these frontliners and what they need to get on these initiators so that they don't get counter initiated.
Secrets. Let's move his house. Matu doing after the defusal. Yeah, we have that Yasha on top of the defusal hood, so this key out still very much going to be quite difficult for Viking to deal with. If we say that, we'll have to see sort of in practice how much the presence of Shab with the very soon to be completed Aghanims will, how much harder it makes Matu's job in these fights.
Yeah, because I mean, it's going to be he's going to have to put attention differently in the fights too now, right? Because he's going to have to help his support. This is more of like you're helping your support build, I feel like, for your Troll Warlord, because he's going to have to fight around them to protect them from the illusions now, because he's going to apply all that miss rate so that they can actually get their spells off. I'm really curious to see how he does too. He's going full defensive. He even queues up BKB after, so just fighting in full. It's a fighting full defensive build, and it could work. Puppy.
Just having to use it there. Make sure that they don't continue to chase him down.
Quiet game though. 5-6, 17 minutes. Both teams content with the pace. Both carries content with the farm that they're able to get here on the map.
Just sort of a question of, in whose minds is this bet? Is this Viking saying, hey, you know what, let's chill, we've got Shab farming, or is it a Secret that are feeling more confident with the PL? See the smoke from Viking. Lovely opening there from Aramis. Instantly in with the silence on Tanisha, but Tanisha didn't quite find the follow-up lockdown. They couldn't catch him in time with the rest of them. They'll get Yapso instead by looks of it as they go over towards the mid lane.
Radiant's
but Nisha actually able to make it away there. I thought they'd have to chain lockdown, but they didn't.
Are fortified.
I don't think they initially knew that Yapsor was there. Boom didn't want to use his BKB, and then yeah, he missed the opportunity there.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
But they'll get the tower out of it, so a nice move, and
Radiant's middle tower
they
has
still have
fallen.
Lasso for the next move that they do want to do. All in all, looking pretty decent for the side of Viking.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, yeah, this axe, it's definitely going to cause issue, especially for Storm, right? You know, Nisha's got to be careful that he doesn't get, like, just hit by the whirling axes. He's got to keep himself at distance, because if he gets hit by that, that's, what, a full 5 seconds where Nisha's damage output is going to be pretty limited, because he's not going to be able to hit anything with the Aftershock procs. Aftershock, sorry, Overload procs.
Overload, I was like, wait, I wish Storm had Aftershock.
Ability drop. But you know what I mean? You know, missing attacks for a Storm Spirit is highly infuriating.
I think he's going to be looking, Nisha's probably going to be looking to playing on different sides of the team fight, then, right?
Sure,
Troll's going to be, it all depends on how Shad plays in the fights. He can play around defending his supports with it pretty well, because the Storm and the PL, they're going to go for those supports, so it's really how Shad chooses to take the fights. But definitely could be annoying, absolutely. Celery, no walk into the river under a ward.
Yeah, it's trying to come in. Buyback from Celery. Viking want to try and take this fight over to the side. Shab pushing away Zai. Zai, he's got the ghost out. But they will respect that buyback from Celery, and they're not going to try and push any further with the exorcism. He's still definitely content with Matu getting the full top half of the map to himself.
Yeah, they got the BKB from the Batrider, and they used their exorcism, so they just wanted to be careful with the buyback. But immediate smoke, they still do have their lasso. They had this ward watching up top, watching the PL's movement, so they're trying to track Matu. Very hard to find him, though, and they are playing very defensively around him. Shad will find a DD bottom, as his team does swoop over and get some more wards down toward this top side. I think they're setting up, though. They still do have that ward. Puppy did get one down earlier.
Aisha. They're going immediately in there, Aramis. Try and catch him there with the silence, but quite getting the position with the boulder.
He's respecting that silence a lot. It's causing Nisha some problems. And Aramis is on point so far with this 1, 2, and 6. And we were mentioning how he's building a BKB. He almost has it. This Philosopher's Stone is paying dividends. It's going to be problematic for these. I mean, these two frontliners on Viking are going to be able to go in and not have to worry so much about this coil, this Earthshaker ult, and these fissures like that. It's going to be pretty nice for them to stick on targets. Matu is still getting all the space in the world, though, which is definitely a concern for me. Because, like I said, Shad's not building the items to counter him. He just has the. I mean, I guess you can say the Ags in a way is a little bit, but. No, he's going to kill him.
Still not just quite a few peaceful moments in this game, really. Yeah. And it's actually, I feel, you know, you still gotta believe that for the PL, this is probably preferential when it comes to carry matchups. And I think maybe a bit of this sort of decision to maybe not necessarily push it as much as they would have otherwise for Secret is the fact that, you know, Shad has this Axe. Maybe that is a bit of a deterrent that said, all right, you know what, we're just going to keep farming. You know, we're just going to allow Matu to continue to do what he does. Because with this early Axe pickup on Viking, they have prepared for Secret to be going on them, and Secret at the moment, they're not giving that to Viking.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's also they have dual core versus a kind of single core, right? The Troll, the Batrider at some point does start to kind of fall behind, even though the hero is still overwhelmingly powerful in the later stages. They will just have a core advantage at some point. And the Death Prophet is always, Death Prophet as a hero scales really hard when you're playing versus this type of like a hero like Underlord. You're always going to have a phenomenal target to Spirit Siphon, and Underlord, he's a different kind of monster in these engagements. I mean, I feel like Secret is happy with the way that the game is going, but I don't feel like Viking's too disappointed either. It seems like both sides are very happy with the state of the game.
And we see from
Radiant
the intentions
are
of Shad's build. So yeah, once the BKB's done, he will
Dire
of course
structures are
go
fortified.
back for the Maelstrom into Mione. So he does have that item to fight the PL. Top lane Aramis.
Dire's middle tower
He's out with the
has
roll.
been denied.
As Nisha, he can't chase down Puppy's going to try and set up with the Dream Coil Boom. Popping the BKB immediately. See if he can get a catch with this, but Secret a little too speedy to get out of there.
Nisha out of mana though. They gotta back away. Give some respect to it. These BKBs are ticking though. That's twice now he's had to use it without actually finding an opportunity for lasso, so down to 8. Yeah, they're just playing the farm game. Farming items, farming for Secret until they get their next big,
Dire's top
the next
tower
big, I
is
guess. I
under
mean, Matu's
attack.
just, queuing up the heart. Intent.
And I'll just be interested to see how good of a job Viking are going to be able to do at, you know, finding the real PL when it comes down to the action. Because I do think, you know, this Shad Aghanims is the 60% miss chances, you know, it's going to greatly reduce the damage output of Matu when it comes to him trying to commit. Sure, he's got a few dispels here and there, but the cooldown's so low that it's a lot to play around. He's going to get caught by it multiple times in the fights. If they can keep Shad alive and at the same time find some sort of lockdown onto Matumba Man, the PL's fight is definitely a lot harder to execute than maybe initially hoped here for Secret. Secret with the core down, 2 of them, BKB coming down from Aramis, and boom, lockdown's there onto Zai. They drag him straight back into the midst of them all. There's no backup from Secret. They have to let Zai go.
Immediate disengage. They have bounty runes in 30 seconds. They're trying to claim the high ground here too, and they'll be able to get it. So hard angle of approach for Secret, but they're looking to go in. Puppy. They shot the buy back from the Death Prophet.
Yeah, they really don't want to let this objective go. Nisha, he's got the grab in onto Toby. He should go down into the silence. He's going to try and get what he can out, but Toby will get taken out by Matu's army. Zai with the wraparound setup onto Celery. They'll be able to pick themselves up a second. There's 2 heroes down. Zai's buyback definitely paying off there. It has enabled Secret to move into the Roche pit. And with Viking just having 3 heroes alive, they're not going to contest this at all. This will be a Roche for Secret.
Maybe Kyle's in my head right now, but chess is, that looks like a game of chess right now for Secret, right? They let, it's like Zai just dies, they let him die, BKBs are used, Lasso's used, and then they see Viking playing over aggressive, they buy back, take the fight, hits right around Roche. It just was a kind of like perfect play, it seems like, for Secret, even though they literally just let Zai die at the start of it. Very smart move from them.
Over here!
And who did get they're actually, okay, they actually give the Aegis to Matu even too. I thought they might just give it to Nisha because I feel like Matu's pretty invulnerable, but now we're probably going to see Matu really pushing the boundaries. He's probably feeling like he's going to get hard, and then they can actually start threatening and starting to make aggressive moves for once on the side of Secret.
True, and I guess he's out of the lineup. He's going to be the one that's, you know, if they want to try and push with the Sages to take objectives, he's going to be the one hitting the towers.
Yeah, and he's just going to be, I mean, he's going to be charging. Like, he's playing versus Oracle, right? So he's going to be charging into the back lines.
We see Matu just a few hundred off having the heart, so continued quick item timings here. 26 minutes in, 8-8. Definitely one of the more passive games we've had. Less than a 1k gold difference in it. Very, very close right now. It's just all a question of whether the Vikings' approach to this game is going to pay off against a farm PL. If Shad is just able to carry the game against Matu.
I'm really concerned because it's just him who's really, oh, he gets a nice free career there, as I'm saying, but it's just him to deal with the PL, to deal the damage, and this PL has 3,000 life on top of a hood, and he just feels very unkillable at this point. It doesn't feel like the rest of his team is going to be able to contribute much of anything to actually deal with Matu. It has to be Shad, so we'll see if it all does work. They're smoked, waiting for an opportunity on the high ground. I like Boom's item build here, going for the Shivas as well. I think this is really nice versus the PL to try to find it and tank up. But will it work? Good. We have 27 minutes. We're seeing the new neutral items being picked up. They're farming these camps.
Dire
Boom.
are scanning.
Does get spotted by the ward as soon as the smoke does end. Yep, so we'll back away with Nisha.
Right, Secret. Looking to start stepping straight back
Dire's
towards
middle
him.
tower
Yeah,
is
he's
under
got to
attack.
get himself out of this area. The rest of Viking already on the retreat.
You could have some very limited vision at the moment. They just have that one ward down in their jungle. Playing kind of with darkness on the map. Still getting themselves in a good posture with this farm. Nisha is getting close to his BKB. He's 1, 2, and 3, but he's unbelievably fun. 300 last
Radiant's
hits on his
bottom
farm.
tower is
They've just been
under attack.
maximizing. It's been a game of really maximizing on both sides. Secret slightly pulling out ahead on this though, and their scaling lineup, it's starting to look pretty scary for Vikings. Even though there's barely any lead, it's just how are you ever going to deal with Matu?
Let's have a bit of a poke at Shat, but back up inbound.
Radiant's bottom
Viking
tower is under attack.
sat straight behind him in the mid. As yeah, it still very much feels like a game where
Dire's top
the
tower
fact
is
that it
under
is
attack.
sort of low on the kills that it has been has mainly just been down to Secret's choice to avoid unnecessary engagements. You know, sure, we've seen them come in at moments popping the exorcism, and this has just been around looking for objectives. The other fights have been ones
Dire's
that
top
the
tower
Vikings
is under
come out to look for.
Visibility.
As again, Viking with an attempt to make the jump in mid, but they can't quite catch him. Puppy's out.
Standard puppy puck, just being super annoying, just giving a lot of information too when that happens. Like you mentioned, they don't have much wards on the map,
Dire's
but
top tower is
that happening, they get that now. They do have this ward bottom that sees Toby chilling on the sidelines. Toby
Touche. Here
in a world of hurt.
Down for the freeze. Does he ever get the rift off in time? There's a lot of lockdown and further silence here from Puppies comes in with the rift. No escape at all here for Toby.
Is under attack.
That ward indeed granting them the setup for free kill. See Viking at least able to reclaim their outpost here at the top half before the 30th minute.
Puppy's making his swing over. He TP'd up top instantly, maybe looking to try to snatch it away, maybe giving his life for it. Let's see.
He's going to be able to get it back in time. They're going to have to fight him.
Matu's guarding him. I don't know if they can fight him with Matu in the area too. They might try, but Matu's covering it completely. And yeah, they're going to deny the outpost to Viking. Heads up moves from Secret as now. They walked right on Shad.
I mean, maybe they didn't expect it to be as alone as he was. I mean, of course, he's still a very hard target to go on. Did have BKB and battle chance to fight through, so Secret not looking to commit on Shad, though. They'll give him the respect and space.
They're just not making any unnecessary jumps when they feel like they might get a kill or something, but it's not necessary. Matu, his Aegis does tick out as Aramis is going on him, but he just quickly disengages just a doppel.
Now we're seeing Shad. Shad's nearly got the complete in me on him. So whilst Matu is stepping ahead in farm, Shad not too far behind. And he does have that item to help him stand against the PL. The problem is that Matu is as farmed as he is. Already 2,800 gold ready to start spending into the butterfly.
Yeah, he's gonna have this full item advantage over the troll at this rate. And Troll's items, I mean, his space in his bags is starting to be kind of limited.
And because you've got to think, you know, 31 minutes in, Shad, he's only won 1 and 2, so he's only been involved in like 3 kills, so very little action. Yep. Was this the intention when he did buy the Axe? Like, was the Axe bought do you think, to stop Secret from going on him? Or was the Axe bought with the intention that the action was to happen? Because I would imagine if they knew it was going to be this sort of game, wouldn't he get the Maelstrom earlier because that would have sped up the other items?
That's how I felt about it too, but I mean, they must have felt a different way. They must have felt maybe they were trying to just lead the charge or something and maybe be able to get more aggressive, but I mean, Secret just made this game be so passive the way that they just disengaged all the time. It's tough to say as Puppy.
Yeah,
still in behind a tree.
Ready to block these smokes. They're in onto him, but he's away. He's away with a blink, and Nisha actually zipping in, trying to spook him on the back lines, maybe try and see if he could tease out some BKB charges, but Viking keep their cool. Nobody's going to pop their BKB.
They're going to re-smoke. They're going to re-smoke, and it's an arcane rune on Nisha. No, he's...
and a regen.
Oh my god.
Oh, it's the Storm Dream here. Arcane and regen.
Whoa, what'd I miss?
He is good to go.
They're scouting the wards now too to make sure they go visit Puppy.
So you get a tree call down onto 2, separates them. We've got Nisha trying to go for Celery, but Celery's out the cape side. Puppy exorcism. Trying to spam the last is in onto Boom. Boom gets the lockdown with the lasso. But Boom is falling low. So I able to buy time here with the self-kills. Viking. Remember that BKB's can actually kill off Zyno. Zyno's got for movement. He's able to step out to the side. Zai's going to live. Matthew's starting to move in. Fisher out onto the forward. The Aztec looks down Yapso. He's in with the echo. One of the three of them. Shad's down. He's dead and gone for 70 seconds. And they're just cleaning them up one by one. They're going to be able to get the team wipe off the back of that Secret.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
That was, I mean, just dancing from Secret.
Dire's
Nisha
middle
dancing in the
tower
back,
has fallen.
giving Yapsor a 4-man fissure opportunity,
Dire's
4-man
middle
enchant
tower
totem, and his blink comes up right after the enchant totem. Oh,
I mean,
picture perfect.
It really has felt that the Secret, as you see, they've not done anything unnecessary this game. They've just played this out absolutely textbook. And Viking, that they had something in mind. They're trying something a little different with this Axe Rush on the troll, but just unable to do anything with it at all, because Secret just never really made a bad move against it.
No, I mean, the way that they took that fight, for people who want to see like spell casting and just dancing around a fight and just perfection, it helps that Nisha, of course, had an arcane and a regen to be able to do this, but they just completely ruined Vikings.
We'll see it again. I mean, you could at the impending doom there where the Fisher's in, you know it's coming, and then here he is, Yapsor straight into the middle of them all. I mean, that's the power, you know, as you talked about at the start. Big smiles there from Nisha.
Damn.
As the game, you know, suddenly then, you know, the real difference here has been blown wide open. 12k lead for Secret. After one a few minutes ago, yeah, you see on the graph, that lead only just cropping up in numbers, but you can certainly tell that Secret, they knew that was coming. They were just waiting for the prime opportunity to create such a lead, and they've done it. And now they're ready to continue the aggression. Nisha straight onto Toby. Shad watching from the side. Just that boom in the back up. He'll be able to get the last go out onto Yapsor. Dream calls down. Yapsor does fall. They'll get something out of this, but the space is there for Matthew to finish off Roche. Aegis and Cheese is his. Viking continuing to slip further behind.
Yeah, they got 2 full sets of racks. It's an insane amount of, it's an insane gold injection. The support puck of Puppy has a full Aghanim's after all this. They get a Roche too. Everyone finishes up their next item. If we saw the last fight be that difficult for Viking, where they could, I mean, that was also a perfect echo and perfect control from Secret, but now they have to play versus even harder grounds here. Man, that was stupendous. I'm just still like, that last fight was so pretty to watch.
They just picked Viking apart perfectly.
And now they're setting up for Shad too. Got everybody running over it. Coil still on cooldown about 15. Yapsor just starting to respawn. God, and the ceremonial robe also coming into play in that last fight too. Didn't really point out that he had it, but just everything on top of each other kicking in.
Absolutely. And the range on that bad boy is pretty big, right? So even with the Fisher, you're likely going to be in range of the debuff on the heroes. So they are going to have that extended stun duration when you're looking for the setup.
Are scanning.
Yep. Scan on the right side. Catches Aramis. Scouted very quickly. He might just boil him in his side.
Aramis gonna pop his BKB. Boom's trying to move in, but instantly they're on him. The Fisher lockdown's there. Boom, he's popping the BKB. Has to be false promise. He falls so low. Nisha gonna zip straight over towards the easy kills. Rinse the setup on Aramis. They'll get one. Now they turn over towards Toby. Bring him back. Stifling him down. Toby, but he's still alive. He's trying to escape, but the ghost from Zai finish him off. Shad attempts to move in. He's still holding on to his BKB charge. He has to pop it, as well as the Battletrons. Boom. He's got the grab on Zai, but the Battletrons, they've got the attacks to take down one. Natu also falling, but he has the Aegis. He's ready for a second round. Backs coming into play from Viking. They want to make sure that they can take down Matu the second time. Into the silence, Nisha trying to help out. Fisher down from Yapsor. Onto Boom, onto Aramis. Boom to Ball. Boom also buying back. They're trying to throw everything into this Viking to turn it around, but Matu, he still prevails, staying alive. Turns over towards Shad, bashing him up. Shad is trying to eliminate some of the hits here with the miscalls and the boiling axes, but it isn't enough. Another Fisher from Yapsor. As Shad goes down, they just cannot deal with this PL. It's another death on Aramis. Matthew just going target to target. They've got a root. They're Got one more buyback to throw into this from Shad. Matthew incredibly low, but he's able to step out to the side of the fight. He's away. They're trying to chase. Can they get any grab with this? They've had to use all 5 buybacks here, Viking, but Puppy holds them back. The 3 of them coiled into position. As Nisha, he's still watching from the side. No,
They're waiting for a chance.
Are they going to be able to get back in on this if they get another hit?
Dire's
Their
middle
tier 4s are
tower
dying.
has
The
fallen.
catapults are taking them out. They're looking to catch perhaps on a reset, but no. Viking will be able to get away, but Secret continue their push. And yeah, like you said, PL, the king, just sitting in the midst of the team fight, just hitting everybody, splitting his illusions. Even though there's what? Everyone buying back almost on the side of Viking, still unable to take the fight and only take us. And Bobby buying back.
It's certainly looking pretty impossible right now for Viking. And Matu, 25. Yeah, nearly having the completed Abyssal, still just an insane amount of farm here, 38 minutes in. Matu.
And they're ready to still like poke and prod. The Earth Spirit's just respawning. They've almost got everything up already.
Boom's getting jumped. He's got to put the BKB. He's trying to find a target with the lasso. Nice able to dodge it, able to stand still. So get the grab onto Yapso. Stylus hit the pullback. Yapso's still alive, and he's able to get his first on fucking start totem. Turns with a Fisher. Jab popping the BKB. Trying to fight against this, but he can't find the real PR. Matu completely kites him. He's out to the side. They've lost Boom. They've lost Celery. Nisha's still got mana to play with. He gets back in for the cleanup. Yapso comes with the echoes. They're down onto the 2 of them. They're all dead yet again. Triple kill for Nisha. This game is over. As Secret take this first game and in a way where the build-up very gradual, as we saw, it stayed even on the numbers, but there was always that worry that it was going to get very quickly blown out of control, and my goodness, it did. From that team fight in the mid lane to the closing seconds of the game, that was just Secret at full power, and Viking, they had nothing. They had nothing to respond to this with, Fog.
Yeah, I mean, this was a masterclass really of how you want to play the dance. I feel like the whole game was a dance by Secret, playing around Viking. Viking had some really good item timings. Still not crazy about this troll Ags. I think that hurt them quite a bit, as it felt like it didn't really do much of anything. And fuck, if he had a farming item, maybe he's at a better level to fight, but still, Secret just doing the dance inside the game and inside the team fights, just knowing exactly how to take it.
Yeah, definitely interesting to see a different approach from Viking and Shab with that build, the order that he picked the items up, but definitely not coming into any sort of effect here against what Secret had, as Secret, very, very nicely and cleanly done by them towards the end, will take this game 1 against Viking.